Okay, I watched it. It just took forever for me it took me to hit the play button, but I watched it. Here we go.
I am constant as the northern star.
I'd give real money if he'd shut up.
I feel like I have to preface every time I do a video that's going to shine any kind of positive light on anything that involves one of the franchises that have been used for the last how many years as a platform to create social and political division, to hit segments of the population over the head, mostly straight white or conservative Christian. That seems to be like the whipping boys in the last 10 years. But anything that aims or targets at an audience that was a previous fan of that franchise. By previous, I mean like fans of the original, that maintained a certain set of values, expectations, or dedication to lore and story. Whereas the woke era, since like 2016, 17, has all been about projecting bigotries, biases, sexism, racism, very far left ideology onto anyone who doesn't like the entertainment or that is being created on a platform that has been loved by people for a long time. It's a constant agitation. It is meant to be a problem created with no solution, so that the real angry, self-hating, bigoted, biased people who are creating new Star Trek, new Star Wars, new Doctor Who, and many other new Lord of the Rings, and all these things, they can get out their anger, their unresolved issues by projecting it on somebody else, and then blaming those other people, pointing the finger like they're the problem. I've had a problem with Kurtzman Trek since STD Season 1, Episode 1. That's not Star Trek. Klingons, not Star Trek. Klingons, one of my favorite sci-fi creatures of all, and that wasn't Klingons. It was very upsetting for me. It's been hard for me to cover Star Trek on this channel, talk about Star Trek. There's channels out there that do it all the time, and I'm just so hurt, angry, defeated by people like Kurtzman and those that he has hired to take something that meant one thing and pervert it into something else. Couldn't even watch Picard Season 2. Tried to cover Season 1. When I was on a live stream this past weekend with Spirit Soldier, Mega Reacts, and Mr. Tickletron, they had all seen this episode and said that it was the best we have gotten. That really doesn't mean much. We've been thrown member berries before, but those are only used to tease. I think that like member berries, in as far as what we've gotten so far that I've seen from Kurtzman Trek, from Fake Trek, has only been done to imitate, with the purpose of further devaluing, further depressing fans like Trekkies of whatever era of Trek that you enjoy, whether it's if it's all of it or whichever is your favorite. And it's disingenuous. It's garbage. It's a horrible way of acting. It's a horrible way of being. It's fake. Those false representations of what I have loved took me out of it. So I watched this. I'm going to do spoiler free, just in case anyone hasn't seen it. Spoiler free review. And what I saw was Will Riker for the first time in a while. That's the character that I got on screen in this episode. That's probably one of my favorite aspects of it. Is seeing Will Riker again, the imp, the guy who will F with you, either jokingly or when he has to, when he's got a chest bump you. I liked seeing Picard. You have to, and I had to understand that, or take into account that he's an older version of himself, so he is a little softer. He's an old man at this point. But the banter between those two reminded me of TNG. I enjoyed it. It didn't seem disingenuous at all. The score, thank the gods, the scores that were used, Star Trek scores, in and around settings that felt like Trek. 7 of 9, great. Seeing Beverly Crusher for a moment, great. Everything's a little different. The settings are darker than I would have liked. Star Trek to me is bright. and luminescent. So it was just a little bit the darker tone. I'm not on board with. The Neo Constitution class is a very cool amalgamation of different eras of Star Trek. Just the phaser array, just even the phaser array. Yes, I see the NCC 1701A right there, and I enjoyed that. Question becomes, is the tone that I have gotten in this first episode of this season going to maintain? There were things that took me out. The Irish Romulan does not make freaking sense to me. It just does not. It's out of place. It just I don't. Why not just be an Irish chick? Doesn't make sense at all. Raffi, it's hard for me to appreciate or like a character that never really meant anything to me. Kurtzman Trek characters don't mean shit to me. I did my best to appreciate. I'm hoping that if the tone of this series continues on, that I will be able to enjoy it. Don't know. I will say the bad guy ship at the end, the unnamed bad guys, was pretty badass looking. That's a really cool space sci-fi design. Let me know what you guys think. I imagine I'm going to get some dislikes and some comments. Please freaking do it, please comment and let me know what you thought, because I get it. If you're done with Kurtzman Trek, I get it. If there is no exception to the rule, if there is just, there is no way that you can forgive Kurtzman openly telling us that that Star Trek was going to be used as a platform to espouse political propaganda and bigotry and hatred and segregation and all that shit under the guise of inclusion. I get it. And I understand. I'm going to continue watching this series, and if it takes a left woke turn and it starts getting really bad, I'm going to say that. And if it's good, if they build upon what I have just seen, then we'll see. I'll let you know. But thank you guys so much for being here. Please remember to like, dislike, comment, subscribe if you have not already, and support your independent creators out there. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much, and peace out.